You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. My name is Arya Whitner, and this is your NXT audio update for Wednesday, February 22nd, 2017. Thank you all for listening. NXT tonight was a very good show. Had one really good match, and a really good angle to close the show. So let's kick things off with a triple threat match for a championship opportunity as Liv Morgan, Ember Moon, and Peyton Royce competed, with the winner facing Asuka next week. Liv Morgan cannot throw a good punch. It just looked horrendous. It was easily the worst part of this match was the first 10 seconds where she was throwing punches. She either needs to never throw another punch on TV again, or do what The Rock did when The Rock described in his book how he couldn't throw a good working punch. So he went, stood in front of his mirror, and threw hundreds of punches at his mirror until he got better at it. Billie Kay was at ringside, and allow me to say she looks a lot better in regular clothes than she does in her one-piece swimsuit that she wears as tights. Anyway, of course, Kay ran interference for her girl, and a distraction led to Royce throwing Moon into the ring steps. At one point, this match at times seemed to threaten to fall apart. At one point, Ember tried to get back in, so Peyton ran after her to knock her off the apron. Unfortunately, the referee wandered in front of her, so Peyton literally had to run around the referee to knock Ember off the apron. Peyton beat on Liv for most of the match. Liv made her come back and hit a bulldog, but at this point Ember had returned and was now alive, and she broke it up. We got a Tower of Doom spot where Ember gave Peyton a sunset flip power bomb off the middle rope. At the same time, Peyton gave Liv a superplex. I want to point out I've seen that spot mistimed so many times by people far more experienced and far less green than these three, but they pulled it off flawlessly. So I said some bad stuff. I'll give them a compliment when they deserve it there. The finish saw Ember go for the Eclipse. However, Billie Kay ran in, and so Ember gave it to her instead. Liv was upset that Ember gave Billie Kay the Eclipse instead of her, I guess. So Liv threw Ember out of the ring, and then Liv unfortunately got pinned by Peyton Royce after a knee and a perfect plex. So Peyton Royce wins the championship opportunity. We had a video package first from Mark Andrews and Pete Dunne, who will be sports entertaining against each other tonight. And then for the re-debuting Cassius Ohno. It reminded me that after he got fired the first time, it was like they fired him like the day after a taping. So they had 4 weeks of TV with Cassius Ohno on a winning streak, which it was not the only time that happened during those early days of NXT. It also made me miss Richie Steamboat, as those two had a really good feud going on back when no one watched NXT except for me. And it's too bad those NXT episodes aren't on the network, because I'd say at least go check out that stuff as well. Shinsuke Nakamura tweeted out that he is training for his comeback. Good for him. Pete Dunne versus Mark Andrews. I liked this match a lot more than the critically acclaimed Tyler Bate-Trent 7 match last week. The fans popped for the appearance of Dunne, who, if you recall, was the only real heel in the UK title tournament. And the Bruiserweight, like I said, is here to face the former TNA X Division star, Mark Andrews. Dunne took him down right away and began bending his wrist backwards and bending Andrews' fingers in directions that fingers are not supposed to go. Andrews threw Dunn outside the ring and went for a moonsault off the apron. However, Dunn caught him, but Andrews turned that into a hip toss. The fans appreciated and chanted Mandrews, which was his nickname in both the UK and in TNA. Of course, the announcers did not acknowledge it. Andrews went for that moonsault off the ring apron a second time, but this time Dunn just stepped aside and punched Andrews in the face. Dunn put Andrews' fingers on the ring steps and stomped down hard on them and gave him the hexplex on the ring apron, which, by the way, is the hardest part of the ring. In case you didn't watch the UK title tournament and didn't watch NXT this week, first of all, watch this match and watch the end angle. But the hexplex is where Pete Dunne picks up his opponent in a suplex, but then just throws him off. Not in like a suplex, but he just throws him off. I think somebody did that at the end of WCW, I think. I think Jason Jett did it. I could be horribly wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. Anyway, Andrews made his comeback and went for a springboard one maneuver, but Dunn punched him in the face and hit a hexplex inside the ring. However, Andrews kicked out of that. Dunn went for the bitter end on 3 separate occasions, but Andrews got out of it the first time, hit a reverse hurricanrana the second time, and turned it into a small package a third time. Dunn went for another hexplex, but Andrews turned it into hurricanrana for a near fall, which A, the fans bought as the finish, and B, when Dunn kicked out, it led to the well-deserved "This is awesome" chant. Andrews hit Stun Dog Millionaire, which is a stunner, and went for a shooting star press. However, Dunn got his knees up. He hit the bitter end on his 4th attempt and picked up the win. And despite being a despicable heel, Dunn did shake the hand of Andrews after the match. Backstage, Billy Kate and Peyton Royce were giggling when the new NXT announcer walked up and informed them that Peyton will face Asuka next week for the title. Peyton said that she'd be champion now if not for that damn Nikki Cross ruining things in the 4-way at TakeOver. However, she will win and take the title down under next week. Patrick Clark of Tough Enough quote-unquote fame will be sports entertaining next week. And also next week, the undefeated, undisputed NXT Tag Team Champions, the Authors of Pain, will defend against the former champions, DIY. The new NXT announcer, and I know she was on the TakeOver pre-show, and I know they said her name on the TakeOver pre-show. However, they did not say her name here, not a single time. And there are too many new backstage announcers. I'm sorry. Like, they need to do something to distinguish them. It's like, it's just crazy. I'm sorry. You know? Sorry. Anyway, she was back and she stalked Ty Dillinger. Ty Dillinger was getting out of his car and entering the WWE Performance Center this morning when she ran up and harassed him and asked him about Sanity. Dillinger said he now is back up in Roderick Strong and No Way Jose, so he invited Sanity to try them again. I would just like to remind you that 2 weeks ago they had a 6-man tag that Sanity won. So I guess they're going to do it again. Main event time. Ty Dillinger's good friend and quality backup, No Way Jose, versus the NXT champion, Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode continues to set records for how long he can take to walk to the ring, as tonight's walk was easily longer than several matches on Raw this week. Heck, if you go back to the Vince Russo era in TNA in like 2007 and 2008, there were episodes of TNA Impact where every match on that show was shorter than Bobby Roode's walk to the ring tonight. And again, if you've never watched NXT, it's a small college, I don't know if it's really a sound stage, but I mean, it's not an arena. It holds about 200-300 people, and it takes, you could walk to the ring in 10 seconds if you wanted to. But Rude manages to make it last 5 minutes. And that's, give him points for that one. I can only imagine if he would have been in the Royal Rumble, how long it would have taken him to walk down in the Alamo Dome. He would have been the only non-super heavyweight that they used the cart for. Anyway, while I was ranting about that, No Way Jose used dance as an offensive weapon until Rude got tired of his offbeat shenanigans and cut him off. As I mentioned, it's kind of weird that in the last segment, Dillinger built up Jose as quality backup, and here he is losing in the main event. There's like 100 people in developmental, and Jose was the one that had to lose this match. With that said, Rude did his best to make Jose look like a contender. Rude came off the middle rope, but Jose hit his wind-up punch. However, Rude fell outside the ring. Jose went out, threw Rude back in, but when Jose came in after him, Rude came alive. He's alive, damn it. It's a miracle! And he dropped Jose with the glorious DDT and picked up the win. After the match, Rude decided that wasn't enough, and he chop-blocked Jose's knee, and he slapped on a single-legged crab. Rude, the dastardly heel that he was, Jose tried to tap out. However, Rude did not care, as this wasn't a match. And then the referee waved his arms frantically. He waved them to, he waved them fro, and Rude ignored that too. However, it took the entrance music of a great man to break up this leg crab. Cassius Ohno finally re-debuted after an amazing 2-week build, and Rude grabbed his title and ran away as Ohno stood tall in the middle of the ring. From the ramp, Rude got the microphone and asked who the hell Ohno thought he was. Ohno said Rude knew exactly who he was, saying that he was in NXT before and has some unfinished business. He wants and needs the NXT championship. Rude said that he was a fighting champion and said he was going to get in the ring for a title match right now. Ohno, since he's a babyface, has become a stupid babyface, so he turned around to take his jacket off. So Rude ran in and chop-blocked Ohno and attacked his knee. Rude went for the single-leg crab, but Ohno kicked him off and lost his sneaker in the process. However, Ohno beat down the NXT champion. Finally, Ohno picked up his sneaker, threw it at Rude, and Rude bailed to the back. Rude knows now that his title reign just got a little more challenging, folks. And that does it for NXT. A great match in the middle, a great angle there at the end. Check the show out. Thank you all for listening, and I'll talk to you again in 7 days.